NEETs are people who have chosen not to be part of society due to personal problems or just straight out of laziness. This story is centered around a certain young woman who becomes a NEET right after high school without even realizing it. In her case though, it's not that she doesn't want to work, but rather there is not a single job out there which can fulfill her very specific criteria. Oh well, at least her mother understands her. Hey, I'm Kura Yumi, and I just read a 2-volume long 4-koma mangaka called Sora no Shita no Naka, or Under the Roof, Under the Sky, that I would like to talk about. There's a lot of NEET/social anxiety type of media out there. It's a genre that speaks to a lot of people, because let's be honest, if you like any of these socially withdrawn type of medias, then you are probably struggling with some sort of anxiety yourself. As someone who has struggled with social anxiety, having no ambition, doubts, and just kind of being lost in life, it really does make sense why these types of medias make such a connection with me and are so relatable. For example, from one of my favorite NEET animes, Hatsuro Sato is a dude who dropped out of college and then spent 4 years in complete isolation and withdrew himself from society. He starts to believe that the whole world is against him, like if some invisible force is responsible for his situation and someone's getting a kick off him, but in reality, he's looking for an excuse for why he is who he is, someone to blame, because he can't admit to himself that he is the one who put himself in that situation. Now let's see what's so relatable about our protag in Sora no Shita. This girl's a lazy fat ass who won't get off her big butt and get a job.
Sora no Shita no Naka is a slice-of-life manga made by Futami, released in 2008. It's about the coming-of-age struggles of a girl named Kanya who unintentionally became a NEET after graduating high school. And now she has to deal with the hard-hitting question of what is she going to do with her life. It's very lighthearted and cute-looking, but also about triumphing and prevailing over life's obstacles. I see a bit of myself in not only Kanya, but all the other characters who are also going through their own personal hardships. It has a little something for everyone going through a different situation in their life, and it's not necessarily just about social anxiety and NEETism. We will talk about all these different situations for each corresponding character, and this is what this video is going to be constructed on. I'll be summarizing Kanya's story for the majority of the video, but I will spread out into other subjects like the characters, venting a bit about my own life, things I liked and didn't like about the manga. I don't consider this video to be like a review or anything like analytical, because God knows I'm too stupid for that shit, but just a guy who wants to talk about why this little manga was so emotionally moving for him, since I'm already strongly hinting that you should read this anyways. So, without further ado, let's start off with our adorable protag, Kanya. After Kanya graduates high school, she finds herself not really wanting to do anything. No job, no aspiration, no college. She is what you would call a NEET. She thinks about all the different options on what she could do. Should she go to college, continue studying despite not having a specific degree in mind, or start seeking employment? But will it be a job she could see herself doing for the foreseeable future? I know after I graduated high school, I was just as lost and unsure about what I wanted to do with myself. I spent a year not doing anything right after high school, because I didn't want to do anything. School was an environment that I didn't like being in, so continuing to study just didn't make sense to me, and the thought of employment was something that was also anxiety-inducing. So what the hell was I gonna do? If I couldn't see what the future had in store for me, then that's when I really began to worry. It's a really scary feeling. Well, going against her comfort zone, she decides that maybe a part-time job is a good start to get the gears rolling. She takes little micro steps into the world of employment. She works on her resume, goes to employment centers, does in-person interviews, but the process of even doing this is so mentally exhausting and anxiety-inducing for her. Employment isn't necessarily something she wants to do. If she could, she would want a world where she could laze about all day and night without having to worry to get up for a job or go to school day after day. Kanya's mom states while she didn't really want it to work or study, she needed the money. At some point in our lives, we're all going to find ourselves needing money in order to put food on the table and keep a roof over our head. We can't laze about forever as much as we like to. So Kanya knows she has to do something. Anything.
it's harsh if you still haven't found your calling or if you ever will. For Kanya, she'll take any small interest of hers as a possible career path, but it's something she isn't even sure she wants to do, even if she is slightly interested since she's so used to just sleeping in all day. Fortunately for Kanya, she doesn't have an extreme amount of social anxiety in order to look for work. She's still able to go outside on her own, buy groceries for her mom, and do whatever. This is because she didn't spend too much time in complete isolation. If she did, it could have developed into a serious issue communicating with people outside of her home. Sure, she does still have some social anxiety, but it isn't at a dangerous level compared to some other people who straight up can't communicate with others. This is how NEETism begins. Once we find ourselves all alone day after day away from society, it'll get comfortable to this routine, and it gets increasingly harder to break out of this routine depending on the amount of time that's gone by. But not our girl Kanya. She takes some initiative and gets her butt out of a possible path of a hikikomori lifestyle. These little micro steps into the world of employment are overstimulating for our little Kanya, but she still persuades through it, at a very slow process. This is probably the most relatable part about Kanya for me, her procrastination and laziness. She will take the smallest achievements as a great victory and use that as an excuse to not do anything else for the rest of her day. She knows this is something she eventually has to do, but she's looking for excuses to delay that process, which is something I heavily relate to. So much so that I find myself wanting to do other things while I'm trying to edit this video. Whenever she's not spending her time looking for a job, which isn't a lot, she's typically sleeping in for long hours at a time, on the computer, reading manga, and occasionally hanging out with her friend Mayuko. With these usually being what her days are like, she compares her own lifestyles to the other people around her, and starts to feel self-conscious about her own routine. Since her acquaintances are employed with full-time jobs, or in college, there's bits of unintentional jabs towards her self-esteem when it comes to her lifestyle, and you'll notice that I said unintentional because while she may be a NEET, she's never really ridiculed by anyone for it. Everyone is really supportive and understanding of Kanya. Mayuko, who's always showing her happy face, doesn't think any less of her for her NEETism, and even her mother. But we all can't be as lucky as Kanya. It's typical once you find yourself in a NEET lifestyle that you don't have a good relationship with anybody, or even have anybody. Most NEETs are debased by their parents and their acquaintances for their lifestyle, which adds fuel to the fire in order to remain socially withdrawn. When we're constantly receiving negativity from others, you give in to those hurtful words and remain those things that other people see you as. So it really does make me happy seeing Kanya not suffer any form of toxicity from anybody. Because Kanya really is a kind individual who deserves the best line. She's a goofy, air-headed little klutz but with a heart of gold kind of person. And I'll just say real quick that I have a soft spot for these cute, bubbly, goofy kind of girls. Maybe it's the fact that their nature is a complete opposite to mine that makes me resonate with them. For I feel they are a direct contrast for me, who's always been a quiet, gloomy kind of guy. I don't want to see anything bad happen to my precious Kanya. Let all the bad things in life happen to me. While we're on the subjects of cute girls and shit, I really like Futami Su's art style a lot. It's really fluffy and cute, with it giving a charming, cutesy 2000 kind of vibe. Her art style really reminds me a lot of Komata Mikami's works on Yuishiki, with how they both draw their little Bomberman pupils for their characters' expressions. I think Kanya would fit in with Hina and Hara pretty well. The three goofy girls. Anyways, after her constant delays with employment, she actually does eventually get a job at a toy shop. I think the lesson we need to take from Kanya here is that while she did procrastinate a lot, she did take the initiative into the world of employment. We need to be more proud of our slow progress, because once you take that first step, you're getting started on doing something instead of continuing to do nothing. From here, she gets acquainted with some new people at her freshly acquired job. Now she goes through this restless of employment and awkward interactions. Some of these interactions between her and her new work buds are also ones that I personally experienced when I started working. Especially these kinds of interactions where I'm trying to make small talk with coworkers but they're either uninterested or just simply walk out of the conversation. Although this guy may seem like to be a dick, he's actually pretty chill. Our new work buddies, Yasaki and Ayuma, are actually both really nice people. But both of these individuals are people who found themselves in a path they originally didn't intended. Yasaki is someone who decided to continue their studies in university. But after she graduated, she didn't have a clue what she wanted to do, so she came back to her hometown. She started working at a part-time job without a clear direction with her degree. It was incredibly stressful thinking about a possible career for herself, so she went with an option that was significantly less stressful for her. The toy shop has tons of downtime, and she enjoys being in a working environment with little responsibilities. She still thinks that maybe it's not too late to look for a career, but she remains hesitant and doesn't move from her comfort zone. These intrusive thoughts continue to haunt her, and she tries to suppress it by keeping her mind preoccupied with work. Ayoma is a dude who decided to put his full attention towards his ambitions. He believes that if you got something you really want to do, you should put your full attention into it in order to make that dream a reality. He takes that mindset to his heart, and he tries his best trying to get a company to accept his video game composition submissions. But then he never receives a response. Months go by, and his mind gets preoccupied with the thoughts of his submissions getting continually denied. You can tell that this is getting to him just by the way he behaves. Quiet, not engaging in conversation, and just doing the routine. I seen myself acting to a similar manner whenever I got a lot of my mind. We simply aren't there, so our mind gets preoccupied with the thoughts of our ambitions, so we tone out the outside world. Ayama was working towards his dreams, but it doesn't work out. As much as he hates to admit defeat, he couldn't spend all his time trying to get a response. Time was running out. He needed to do something just to get by. Ayama and Yasaki are people who made a genuine effort to do something, but are met with a sort of mental barrier as the time goes by. These two are apprehensive about the future, but hide it with Yasaki always appearing carefree, and Ayama simply not talking about it. Since we're currently talking about some of the characters, let's go in and talk about the other ones, starting with Kanya's only friend, Mayako. Unlike Ayama, Kanya, and Yasaki, Mayako is someone who doesn't need a lucrative career or ambitions to remain content. She finds fulfillment through being responsible for herself. She pulls her own weight and doesn't rely on others with her full-time job. Independence and stability is what satisfies her, and nothing more. As an individual who's always been troubled by the thought about his future and independence, I find myself looking up to Mayako's mindset. I need to find something that I'm passionate about, and make it my dream job in order to live my life to the fullest. This is what I would say to myself, and it drove me into the middle of a crossroad that I never moved from. I felt so lost and uncertain for a large majority of my life. But here was Mayako, who was so happy with so little. She tells Kanya that it's okay to be lost, because a lot of people don't really know what they're doing. Whatever it is they are currently doing, they just hope it works out in the end. And this made me think that maybe I really don't need to find a job that I'm passionate about in order to be fulfilled. I had a conversation with a coworker who's been working at the same job for 13 years, and she told me that this job isn't necessarily something she cares about. When she isn't working, the last thing on her mind is her job. She spends her time gardening and cooking for her boyfriend, and that's it. As long as we have the time to do the things we like, we can remain happy this way. This really spoke to me. I was so damn worried about what I wanted in life, but really, it doesn't really matter. As long as we can eat well, sleep well, and have time for our hobbies, then that's enough for a happy life. Maiko's the type of person to enjoy the simple things in life. She'll mess up at her job and worry about certain things sometimes, but she's still happy with what she has, which may not look like much to others, but it's enough for her. Now let's connect Kezu into this, a character we don't see much at all in the manga, and how that's so fitting to his character.
Kezu is the personification of an overworked average Japanese salaries man. Kezu is similar to Kanya that he also doesn't want to work, but has to. All he does is work. Work. Earlier when I was talking about Mayuko, I said that all you need is a job that can get your financial needs, and some time on the side for your hobbies to be happy. But what if all you ever do is work? Kezu is a victim to overworking, and he is an example of someone who has almost no time to do anything else but sleep. Actually, he doesn't even have enough time to go home and sleep even in his own bed. He's so busy with work that he misses out on activities and events. Working like this can not only be mentally draining, but also physically damaging to your well-being, as he'll work all-nighters at his company. This is an actual pretty big issue in Japan specifically, and it's so bad that it even has a name for it: kairoshi. This is something I've been so afraid of for the entirety of the time I've been an adult. Having no time for nothing else, working a mentally draining job day after day until the day I die. But this is just what Kezu needs to do in order to live. He works hard, very hard. He loses his job at some point due to bankruptcy, but he immediately submits 10 applications and gets another job in a quick notice. He's admittedly commendable for this, as he's just trying his best to just keep moving. I know if it were me, I would have probably remained unemployed for a while since job searching can be such a daunting process. The example we need to take from Kezu is just to not get discouraged, because who knows, maybe his new job might be better. This makes me want to work towards getting a job that isn't mentally draining, and that I could still have time for myself. Like I said before, I could be content with a job I don't have to be passionate about. But if I straight up hate the job and spend the majority of my time doing that job, then I'll get depressed. It might be weird to use this as an example, but has anyone ever watched Better Call Saul? Jimmy was struggling to fit in at his new job at a big law firm. Now, this would have been the dream job for most people. You have it all: company car, company apartment, working for a large-scale law firm, making all the money you ever wanted. It would have been something that most people would be envious of. But Jimmy hated it. The professional workspace is something he loathes for the simple reason that they won't let him do things his way. He doesn't fit in, so he returns to solo practice, which earns him significantly less earnings. But at least he has a smile on his face. Before we go back to Kanya's story, there's one more character that I didn't really know how to include in the script, because there's not really a whole lot to say about her, but I thought I'd mention her anyways. Miki is Kanya's younger cousin, who is very mature and responsible for her age, but also very cheerful and still just a child at heart. She's very caring for Kanya, as if she notices Kanya to start to slack or worry about other people, she'll scold her and tell her to only worry about herself. She gives Kanya wake-up calls and always scolds her with a caring heart. There's always seems to be people significantly younger than me that seem like they're 10 steps ahead of you. Or at least that's how I feel, because honestly I've always been a pretty stupid dude. Kanya even wonders how she's related to her just because how she compares herself to her. Admittedly, that's all there really is to say about her. I really only wanted to mention her because Miki really reminds me a lot of Kiko from Watamote, as they have such similar personalities and similar names that it makes me wonder if Nico Tanagawa got their inspiration from Miki, since Sora no Shita predates Watamote. Also, this last interaction with Kanya and Miki I found to be pretty hilarious, since I found myself saying this to people younger than me. Finally going back to Kanya, after some time working at the toy shop, she considers leaving her job. She knows to herself that part-time jobs are a temporary thing, and starts to worry about her future. Yet again. She doesn't really want to leave, but she knows she can't do this forever. She knows at some point she'll no longer be able to rely on her mom and dad's sheltering. Speaking of dad, we get a sweet little moment here where Kanya's pop-up comes home while on shift because he misses his precious Kanya and her mom. Kanya and her pop don't really ever get the chance to speak to each other, since Pops is always working to support them. She starts thinking about how her pop is the only reason why she and her mom can have a decent life. She feels guilty with how she doesn't even really know all that much about her pop, despite him doing so much for the life she has. She hates herself for this. This is just so sweet coming from Kanya. This also gets me thinking about my relationship with my pop. They have a cute little talk about her pop-up just being overprotective and just wanting what's best for her. Pop gives some advice saying, whether it's a full-time job or a part-time job, make sure it'll be something you won't regret in the future. This is such a great piece of advice I wish I heard when I came into the adult world. It's completely fine to not have ambitions, but that doesn't excuse us from doing nothing. So our best option is just to find a full-time job where you like doing the work.
Or, not have it be soul-crushing. Kanya's had a pretty supportive and healthy working environment.
And every other character in this manga too, admittedly. Even fucking Kazu.
But this just isn't reality for everyone. It is common in our society we are typically mistreated, taken advantage of, and literally sometimes even bullied. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, please try your best to find something else to avoid the path of sorrow. Of course, the reason why people put up with this treatment is that they need the money, or like me, they just simply adjust to it. I think this is what's responsible for a lot of the negativity I've gotten since becoming an adult. Because I didn't try to look for something else when I clearly didn't enjoy my job. It was effort I didn't want to put the time into. So I stood in the same spot, and my sorrow built and built over the years. Your life doesn't have to be like this. Continue searching for the light, and deviate away from the branching path of darkness. Because in order to make changes in your life, you need to be willing to make changes for yourself first. Kanya quits her part-time job before looking for another job as a motivator and pressure, since she finds it difficult to look for another job while working. And, because she'd rather not, of course. It's very cute seeing Yasaki not wanting her to go, and kinda uses some manipulations to get her to stay. Sometimes having a work buddy is what makes a job more tolerable, or even worth staying around for. Kanya, Yasaki, and Ayama kinda have a farewell party, and we can see our man Ayama is actually a good man. He isn't flirtatious or creepy towards Yasaki or Kanya, which is something women sometimes go through a lot in the working field. He even makes sure Kanya doesn't drink any alcohol even though Yasaki really wants her to. I know if this was another type of guy, he would have taken advantage of this opportunity and preyed on the intoxicated women. But no, not our man. He watches over our little Kanya like if she was his daughter. And that's incredibly respectful of him. Anyways, Yasaki asks Kanya why not work part-time job while looking for another job. Kanya replies, yes, that may be true, but when I think about just to take it easy, since I have my part-time job, it really just makes me slack off when I should be looking for a job. I've also felt like this before. I worked part-time jobs for the majority of my life with the mindset that I'll find something eventually. Then I started to realize how much time has gone by and I still haven't found something. Is it because I'm lazy? Do I just not have the drive? How long is it going to be like this? I don't even know anymore. While Kanya takes her sweet time looking for another job, there's a little moment where Kanya and Mayako go to the hot spring to blow off some steam. I know Kanya would like to forget about the stresses of life for a moment. This was something Mayako organized for Kanya. You can recall Mayu saying it's the best thing for the soul not to be worrying about things, and to just think about other things sometimes. Mayako probably noticed Kanya's anxious behavior and just wanted to get her to relax. That is just so incredibly sweet of her, and this is probably why Mayako is my favorite character in Sora no Shita. Being worried about things all the time is really mentally damaging. Yes, I said earlier that when am I gonna find my something, but it really is those thoughts that make me so depressed. I bought a red kite the other day, and decided to go fly it while drinking some iced tea and listening to music. I remember thinking, so this is how it's like, to just be in the moment. I spent a long time looking at that kite so high in the sky. We really do spend a lot of time worrying about the future, or things we've done in the past, but I never really taken the time to enjoy the present moment. And when that does happen, that is when I'm usually most happy. Don't feel guilty if you feel like you're not trying hard enough, or if you haven't found something. There's people out there who look back at their lives with regrets, and that just sucks, man. So if you, viewer, feel like you're spending too much time studying, stressed out from work, or just anxious about life, go ahead and take a break. Go outside, take a breath, and look up at the clouds. Put some headphones on, and listen to some of your favorite music. And let the wind hit your flesh. This is something I do a lot whenever I feel like I'm thinking about things too much. Take the time to mess around, and relax. and let the worries of the world just fade away for a little bit. Kanya applies to a lot of different places for job interviews, but is commonly met with rejection. The job market is incredibly difficult to compete with, especially if you're just starting off like Kanya is. And also, when it comes to interviews, who the fuck knows how to actually respond to all these different questions that interviewers give? Well, in this interview in particular, she decides to be honest with her response with the questioning. They ask her if she has some sort of special talent. She says, "Not really. I don't have any confidence. I'm not very skilled in anything, and I suffer from a low self-esteem. But I hope that work can be something where I can gain that confidence for myself. I hope." Then she does it. She gets the job. This is something that most people wouldn't consider a celebration for. But for Kanya, she's really happy for herself. And her friends and family are too. She saved herself from a path of loneliness and isolation. It takes willpower and courage for someone who is coming of age to get out there into the real world. And for me, this is the ultimate meaning of Sora no Shitayane no Naka. Work has never really been something anyone ever wants to do. We don't want to deal with people, work long hours at a time and get up out of bed for it. But let me tell you something, I've changed for the better because of employment. Before working a job, I was self-centered, a terrible person, and I didn't like anybody. I always assumed everyone was only talking to me out of pity since I was always by myself. I was just mean to a lot of people. But ever since I started working, I really developed into this person who's just kind of chilled and relaxed. I started interacting with people in a calmer demeanor instead of just being a dick. I've had some people tell me that I have a very calming presence with them. And really, I have the jobs I had so far to thank for that. They weren't jobs that made me super rich or something that I wanted to do, but they did allow me to be more comfortable being around people. And as I come to realize, I really do like socializing and making connections with another soul. Of course, this doesn't mean I'm free of problems. I'm still kind of shy and have a low self-esteem. But I like to think having these traits is what makes me myself, instead of just being insecure about it. And if I did continue that path of unemployment well after high school, I'm almost certain it would have ended in me ending it. We all have problems, doubts, go through stuff we don't want to deal with. Life isn't easy. There's so much pain and suffering in this world. But it's something we all go through together. And we help each other out whenever we're struggling or feeling down. And that's the beauty in this world. Because we all work under the sky, and we all live under a roof. So that's all I really had to say about Sora no Shitayane no Naka. This manga made me had a lot of realizations about myself, but it also really makes me hopeful for the future. Lately I've been dealing with a lot of negative thoughts, but it's amazing how a couple of characters in this manga can change my outlook on life. I left a lot of things out of Sora no Shita, so if you're still thinking about reading it, I really recommend that you do. It's so short that you can probably finish it in one sitting. I love this manga so much that I even bought physical copies. Look at it. It's in excellent condition. Really gotta love the Japanese for how they take care of used property. Oh look, he gave me some cards. Aw, I love this one the most. Anytime I buy anything through a Japanese seller on eBay, they always give tiny gifts like this away. That's so cute of them. So this is the first time I wrote a script for a video, and I know it's probably messy and not all that good in quality. But I want you to know that this was something that was made with heart. I had fun making this video, and I hope it's something that you'll make a connection with. I have other videos like this planned, so I hope you'll stay around my channel for those who enjoyed this. I guess that's about it. Thank you so much if you watched from start to end. It means a lot to me. Alright. See you later.